Hello, my name is Lori Schmidt, and today is August 10th, 2025. Today, I'll be sharing my interpersonal communication plan. I will begin by explaining a strategic plan to improve my interpersonal communications. I will explain the strengths and weaknesses of my ID personality, and I will give you insight into my background as an addictions counselor, as well as share my goal of emulating Christ in all of my relationships and the strategy I intend to use to accomplish that goal. Over the course of the semester, I've been able to evaluate my strengths as well as my weaknesses when it comes to interpersonal communications. After discovering that I'm an influencing dominant personality blend from the Uniquely You assessment, I have been able to create a strategic plan to improve my interpersonal communications and do my best to emulate the communications of Christ. My first strategy is to be mindful of asking the Holy Spirit to be a part of every conversation. I plan to lead each interaction with gratitude and appreciation. I want people to know I'm thankful for the time that they're spending with me, and I value their input. I've also realized I have room for improvement when it comes to listening. I plan to practice active listening and avoid planning out my response while the other person is still talking. I will practice paraphrasing as well to ensure individuals that I understand what they have said and allow space for correction without becoming offended. I will also be mindful to promote peace and reconciliation. As an ID personality blend, I can tend to avoid conflict to avoid feeling rejected or hurting someone's feelings. This can lead to a lack of communication and resentment. Moving forward, I plan to address minor conflicts early with a calm tone and accountability. These are suggestions from Schultz and Badzinski, 2015. Interpersonal communication is the purposeful exchange of information, ideas, emotions, and meaning between individuals through both verbal and nonverbal cues. It extends beyond the words themselves, incorporating a tone of voice, facial expressions, gestures and postures, and other contextual cues that shape understanding. This process is foundational to building trust, collaboration, and sustaining meaningful relationships in personal, professional, and cross-cultural text. And this is Manning, 2020. As Schultz and Badzinski note, the quality of human relationships rests on the integration of faith, whom we trust and we follow, the skill, how we interact with God, ourselves, and others, and virtue, is the character qualities or habits of the heart we embody. By developing all three, individuals can flourish in life-giving relationships filled with joy and delight. Relationships that reflect a foretaste of the kingdom's feast among the noise of everyday life. From the Carbondale Uniquely You assessment, I learned that I am an ID personality blend, a combination that is people-oriented, energetic, and influence-driven, yet also visionary and results-focused. This blend gives me strength in motivating others, creating connection, and inspiring collaboration. But it also comes with challenges, such as a tendency to avoid conflict and overcommitting to maintain harmony. Professionally, I serve as an addictions counselor in a program serving women who have experienced sex trafficking, exploitation, and/or domestic violence. In this role, interpersonal communication is not just important, it is essential. Every day I work with individuals navigating trauma, struggles, and change. My faith as a Christian is central to my identity and work. I seek to model the communications of Christ by showing compassion, empathy, and truth and love. This combination of professional experience and personal faith gives me both unique strengths and opportunities for growth in my communications. Throughout this course, I've identified several key barriers that hinder my communication. One is conflict avoidance. As an ID blend, I often steer away from conflict to protect relationships, which can lead to unspoken frustrations and unresolved issues. listening while planning my response. I sometimes focus on what I will say next instead of being fully present and listening. This can result in missing important emotional cues. I also have a fear of rejection. My fear of being liked can cause me to withhold feedback, reducing my effectiveness in helping others grow. These barriers can impact my relationships, professionally by limiting my ability to challenge clients toward change, and personally by allowing resentment to build. My goal is to emulate Christ in my word and deed. I chose this goal because Christ's example is the ultimate model of compassion, truth, and transformative communication. In both my personal life and my career as an addictions counselor, my words and actions carry the potential to influence others deeply. Many of the people I serve have experienced broken trust and harmful communication. I want my actions to be a living testimony of grace, truth, and reconciliation, reflecting Christ's love in a tangible way. This goal is vital because communication is the bridge to trust and transformation. If I communicate intentionally and with Christ-like humility, I can create safety and openness and healing in every conversation. To reach this goal and overcome my communication barriers, I will invite the Holy Spirit into every conversation, pausing to pray for guidance, humility, and discernment. I will lead with gratitude and appreciation. I'll express thanks and value for other people's time and their presence. I will also practice active listening. I'll avoid planning responses too early and paraphrase to confirm understanding and welcome correction without offense. I will address conflict early and calmly, resisting the tendency to avoid difficult conversations and engage with calmness and accountability. I will promote peace and reconciliation, intentionally using words and actions to restore relationships and create unity. A Bible verse that beautifully ties all of these elements together is Colossians 3:12-15. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and clearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if you have any grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all the virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace, and be thankful. According to the Uniquely You assessment, my behavior blend is ID, combining influence and dominant traits. This means I am energetic, outgoing, persuasive, with a strong focus of achieving results. I tend to communicate confidently and enthusiastically, enjoying connection with others while also driving conversations toward goals. My background as an addictions counselor, along with my identity as a Christian, deeply shapes how I communicate. Positively, I bring compassion, empathy, and a desire to encourage and support others through their struggles. However, my ID blend can sometimes lead me to avoid conflict or rush conversations. This can limit deeper listening and create misunderstandings. Overall, my personality and background provide me with both strengths like motivating and connecting with others, and challenges such as managing impatience and creating open dialogue. Recognizing this helps me intentionally grow as a communicator who reflects Christ's love and truth. Thank you.